In 2012, there were 11 quarterbacks selected in the NFL draft, which has had everything from a Super Bowl MVP to laughable busts.
First experience in the NFL, how about Brandon Weeden getting caught under the flag?
Out of these 11 dudes, 4 got picked in the first round, and in one of the most widely discussed and debated QB classes of all time. What do things look like almost a decade later? But before we get started, I gotta thank Truebill for sponsoring this video. Do you ever struggle keeping up with subscriptions, billing due dates, and saving for the future? Well, if so, you need to check out Truebill. Truebill is an all-in-one personal finance app, which helps you take back control of your financial life, helping you save more, spend less, and enjoy the feeling of financial freedom. With Truebill, you securely connect your financial accounts, and they will do the rest. I've been personally using Truebill myself, and the first thing that I really enjoyed about it was that they immediately identified subscriptions that I should have canceled a long time ago, and it gives you all the instruction you need on how to cancel. Truebill also helped me lower some internet service and credit card bills, and Truebill also helped me set budgets that automatically monitor your spending by category. Then they notified me whenever I exceeded that limit. It's truly helped me out a ton. You also can start saving today. Download for free by heading to truebill.com/KTO or click the link in the description. Shout out to Truebill for the sponsor.
Mel, how highly rated do you have Andrew Luck?
Been doing this since 1979. He's the highest rated quarterback since John Elway in 1983. You think about his physical skill set, he's got it all. You can talk about arm strength, he's effortless throwing the football. That's why it comes off so easily. Bends those knees, mechanically sound, mobile, underrated in terms of the ability to move the chains. What doesn't he have?
Ever since I began paying attention to NFL football, there has never been a prospect more talked about than Andrew Luck. From 2009 to 2011, Andrew Luck turned Stanford from a laughingstock football program to one of the best teams in the country. Luck was such a big deal at the time that, as a viewer, it became annoying how much he was praised. Was he really that good? Fan bases of NFL teams that were tanking and in the race for the #1 overall pick dubbed it the Suck for Luck campaign, and the Curtis Painter-led Colts took the victory and the rights to Andrew Luck.
And he's going to throw it up the seam, and he's got him! T.Y. Hilton for a touchdown!
His rookie year was one for the ages. Starting all 16 games, Luck helped the Colts improve from 2-14 to 11-5. Those 11 wins were the most by a #1 overall rookie of all time. He set a bunch of other rookie records as well, like the most passing yards in a game, the most passing yards in a season, and the most completions in a season. Although he lost in his playoff debut, clearly there was a lot to look forward to for Colts fans. His first 3 seasons in the NFL all produced an 11-5 record. He also made it to the Pro Bowl in all 3 of those years, the last of which was his best, where he led the NFL in passing touchdowns. He also managed to win back-to-back playoff games, reaching the AFC Championship in 2014. From here, things took a rough turn. Injuries began to pile up, and despite a bounce-back 2016 campaign, Luck underwent surgery in his throwing shoulder that had bothered him for over a year to that point. Luck's recovery time took longer than expected, and he missed the entire 2017 season. This meant that he had missed 26 games in 3 years, and his first game back in 2018 took place almost 2 years since his last time on the field. And despite a slow start, Luck showed how special that he still was, achieving Pro Bowl honors and the NFL Comeback Player of the Year. But ultimately, the injuries had taken a mental toll on him, and Luck shocked the NFL world, announcing his retirement in the 2019 preseason. Some speculated that he would eventually return, but at this point it looks unlikely. Overall, at his best, Luck was a top 5 to top 10 quarterback, with the skill set to become a top 3 level guy, but his reckless play style ultimately led him to being constantly hurt. And anyone who's been constantly rehabbing injuries knows what kind of toll that can take on you.
With the second pick in the 2012 NFL Draft, the Washington Redskins select Robert Griffin III, quarterback, Baylor.
Like Andrew Luck, there was a ton of hype around Robert Griffin III after his unbelievable 2011 season at Baylor. He completed 72% of his passes, along with throwing for over 4,000 yards and rushing for nearly 700. He was seen as the ultimate dual threat, with the speed of a world-class hurdler while also having big-time NFL arm strength. His first season in the NFL wowed everybody, running an offensive scheme that truly shined his passing and running talent. Despite Andrew Luck's stellar rookie season where he set a bunch of rookie records, RG3's was better, and he beat out Luck in the Rookie of the Year race. But things ended about as bad as they could.
But beyond the loss, the extra injury, adding injury to insult, is RG3's injury.
Yeah, and that's what everyone seems to be talking about very quickly on social media last night. That's all anyone wanted to say was, we just hope that knee is okay.
He completely tore his ACL and LCL in his playoff debut, which led to a discussion that offseason behind closed doors. And what we saw in year 2 was not the same guy. Essentially what happened, according to Alex Rollins, who runs a great channel on film breakdowns, was that they tried to turn RG3 into a pocket passer, which strayed away from one of his major strengths, which was using his athleticism in RPO-type schemes. The problem with this scheme change was RG3 was never a true pocket passer, even going back to his high school days, so he lacked fundamental skills necessary to become even decent at the pro level. Areas like anticipation, moving around the pocket, and looking through his progressions were all weaknesses that never improved. Couple this with the fact that RG3 was injured every single year, and eventually, Washington moved on. But they always had a backup plan ready since they had drafted Kirk Cousins in the same draft that they got RG3. He became a journeyman backup within 5 years of being drafted, and almost every time he would get his shot, he would get injured. Currently, he is now working for ESPN as a college football and NFL analyst.
With the 8th pick in the 2012 NFL Draft, the Miami Dolphins select Ryan Tannehill, quarterback, Texas A&M.
Listed at 6'4", 221 with a 4.5 40, Tannehill was also a dual threat. A former collegiate receiver converted into quarterback for Texas A&M. His biggest drawback was his lack of experience, considering that he was a receiver when he came to the university. But his spectacular 2011 campaign drew comparisons to former MVP Rich Gannon. And looking for a fresh start at quarterback, the Miami Dolphins drafted Tannehill, making him their first QB drafted in the first round since Dan Marino. His rookie year had its positives, setting team rookie records for yards and completions in a season. He didn't put up the same touchdown numbers like his draft mates, but when you consider the offensive personnel he had around him, it's understandable. Tannehill improved in his second year, and did even better in his third season, where he had officially established himself as a top 10 to 15 starter. Following this, he was rewarded with a 6-year, $96 million contract extension. That would be the high point of his time in Miami, since he regressed slightly in 2015, then played well in 2016, but ultimately ended the season injured. In 2017, he tore his ACL in training camp. Then in 2018, Tannehill was awful in 11 games, to the point where Miami was just not seeing what they saw in him in 2014, and they were ready to move on. Tannehill was traded the following offseason to Tennessee in exchange for a couple mid to late round draft picks. Revitalized with a fresh start, Tannehill, despite starting the 2019 season as the backup, took on the starting role following an injury to Marcus Mariota, and he would go on to play the best ball of his career.
Here they go! And he's across for the touchdown! Adam Humphries!
117.5. That was Tannehill's passer rating that year, which was the best in the NFL in 2019. The efficiency of Tannehill's game, combined with the emerging dominance of Derrick Henry, was the formula that led Tennessee on an improbable run to the AFC Championship. Although they would go on to lose to the eventual Super Bowl champion Chiefs, there was a ton of excitement in Tennessee. Tannehill had just won NFL Comeback Player of the Year, achieved his first Pro Bowl honors, and this team looked ready to be contenders in the foreseeable future. Once again, Tannehill would be awarded another massive contract extension, 2020 was quite the season for this team. Tannehill put up a career-high 33 passing touchdowns, Derrick Henry ran for over 2,000 yards, and the Titans won 11 games. 2021, however, has been more of a struggle for Tannehill, especially following Derrick Henry's injury. So, as of now, Tannehill, despite never really becoming that special top 5 to top 10 level talent, has proven multiple times that he can play and lead an offense. At the age of 33, he's the only one of the top 3 quarterbacks that is still in the NFL.
With the 22nd pick in the 2012 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns select Brandon Weeden, quarterback, Oklahoma State.
Brandon Weeden has the most unique story of all 4 of these quarterbacks. He was a Major League Baseball draft pick all the way back in 2002, where he went on to play minor league ball until he finally gave it up in 2006. He would then go back to school, enrolling at Oklahoma State. Then 4 years later, he was leading one of the most prolific college football offenses in the country as the starting quarterback. He was so good that, despite being 28 years old, his skill set had scouts projecting him as a first-round talent in 2012. Some even argued that his age could be a bonus in terms of maturity, and he was more equipped to handle the pressure. So, how did things go?
In as a receiver out of the backfield, and this pass is in the air and it's picked off. The Eagles
the field here today.
Brandon Jackson, the running back, and going deep is Weeden, and this one is intercepted by Dominique Rogers. Weeden, and it's picked off. Dominique Rogers Cromartie is in there. Brandon Hughes is the nickel back, and Weeden's pass is going to be intercepted by Kurt Coleman, and Coleman goes down.
Talk about a brutal start to a career. I mean, that was literally as bad as Nathan Peterman's first career game. The difference being that Weeden was a first-round pick, and Peterman was a fifth-round pick. It didn't get much better following his first game. He was statistically one of the bottom-ranked quarterbacks in 2012, and 2013 was worse. That was because Weeden dealt with injuries and didn't win a single game when he was starting. Things had gone so poorly within 2 years that Weeden was released, and the team drafted Johnny Manziel. As for the rest of Weeden's career, he would go on to become a backup in Dallas and Houston before going unsigned following 2018. He's now considered one of the bigger draft busts in recent memory. So, in wrapping up the 2012 quarterback prospects, let's go over the class as a whole. The first round saw 4 quarterbacks, which turned out more sad than anything. Luckily, the third quarterback, Ryan Tannehill, made the most of his opportunities with his second team. Looking at the following rounds, there's actually been quite a bit of production. Skipping past second-round pick Brock Osweiler, we have 2 quarterbacks who have made an impact from the third round. Russell Wilson was the steal of this draft, since he went on to become a Super Bowl champion and a 7-time Pro Bowler in 10 seasons. Fellow third-round pick Nick Foles has been mostly a backup, but Eagles fans will always see him as a legend for leading them to a Super Bowl victory after playing out of his mind in the 2017-2018 playoffs. He is the only quarterback from this year to win Super Bowl MVP. Then the fourth round gave the NFL Kirk Cousins, who, like I said earlier, was also drafted to Washington behind RG3. Eventually, he became their starter, and currently, he's second overall in this class in career passing yards. Even though he's never been elite, carving out this kind of career as a mid-tier draft pick has been impressive. So overall, this class, despite some disappointment at the top, has seen a bunch of guys who've made a huge impact in the last decade of pro football. But here's one thing I found pretty funny about this class. The most memorable play made by any of these quarterbacks wasn't even a throw, it was a catch. And the most memorable pass wasn't even made by a quarterback, it was from a defensive tackle.
Their version of the fridge. Here comes Don Terry Poe in, and
Right.
Here we go.
It was a run because they flipped it to him on a lateral.
They got
He's going to take it. Look at this. He's going to throw. Touchdown.